As I've been mentioning, this is an initiative of Dubai Holding and, of course, Dubai I103.8 FM. Last week marked the 100-day countdown to COP28 taking place right here in the UAE. Majority of those conversations will be held up at the Expo site. But in the build-up to it, we have decided to schedule our own conversations, if you like. Climate Conversation brought to you by Dubai I103.8 and Dubai Holding. Dubai Eye's deep dive into all of the environmental and climate stories making the headlines in the run-up to COP28 in November. Today, we're going to be looking at the issue of waste, something that is familiar to us all. But come on, let's face it. If you've lived in Dubai long enough, if you've been here in the region long enough, so you likely heard that urban myth out there about all your rubbish ending up in landfill, regardless of whether you put it into different colour bins or otherwise. So I suppose the question we're really asking here is it worth recycling? Where does your rubbish actually go? What happens to it when it reaches its destination? Well, it's increasingly likely that the answer to that last one is that it's turned into power. And that is now a reality because Dubai is now home to the world's largest energy from waste facility. The Dubai Waste Management Company is set to convert 1.9 million tonnes of municipal waste each and every year into sustainable energy. How? Don't ask me. But thankfully, we've got the man who can explain to us all. Joined live in the studio now for today's Climate Conversations by the CEO of the Dubai Waste Management Company, Tim Clark. Tim, thanks so much indeed for your time this morning.
No problem. Morning, Tom.
Good to have you with us. Now, listen, I've got a bit of skin in the game here because I've seen this extraordinary facility rise out of the deserts of the UAE and therefore have a sort of idea of the scale that we're talking about the centre and the facility. For the uninitiated, for those that haven't seen it, haven't seen the building itself now as it comes to reality, hasn't seen the scale drawings, etc., how do you explain it to them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very large facility of its type as an energy from waste facility. Compared with power stations, it's a very similar to large power stations. We've got 5 boilers, which will consume the waste, and a very large steam turbine, which generates the electricity. Stack stands 65 metres high, and we've got waste bunkers that will hold 4 days' worth of waste supply for the plant, around about 20,000 tonnes of waste in the bunkers. So it's a very big facility, very large machinery, very extensive control systems, exhaust gas cleanup. So it is very much a very large industrial facility, one of the largest construction projects going on in Dubai at the moment.
Waste to energy. Is this new, or is this, or obviously, are you bringing to bear new science, new technology to something that's been done for many years?
No, the idea of taking waste and combusting it to provide energy has probably been around for about 60 years. Some places around Europe were building waste to energy plants back in the 1970s. So it's not new technology, but very much in the past it's been building off the technology from coal-fired power plants, where over the last 20 years it's become much more sophisticated because of the controls on environmental emissions. One of the problems with burning waste is, unfortunately, we throw away a lot of things that got heavy metals, chlorides in the plastic, and that turns into things which are not good for the environment. So you have to have a very sophisticated gas cleanup equipment to make sure the emissions are of a level which are acceptable to put it out into the atmosphere. So that's really been the big development and why there's been such a focus over the last 15, 20 years to arrive at the very sophisticated plants such as we're building here in Dubai.
The numbers that we're reading at the moment, 1.9 million tonnes of municipal waste each year. I mean, again, that's just a number on a piece of paper for me at the moment. Put that into context in terms of how much of that is the waste that we generate on a yearly basis here.
Well, it's roughly 45% of Dubai's total domestic, industrial and commercial waste output. So we'll be taking around 1.9 million tonnes, as you say, of roughly just a little over 4 million tonnes of waste that's currently produced every year. Obviously, Dubai municipality is trying to focus a little bit on trying to reduce waste on the front end, but obviously with the way that life is here, it's kind of difficult to reduce waste in that sense. So they're more focused on having an alternative to the disposal. So they want to head for this zero to landfill for 2030. So we'll be contributing 45% towards that. So 45% of the waste that currently up until recently has been going to landfill will now be put through our plant and combusted. Just in terms of figures, probably things people will realise a little bit more. It's 5,500 tonnes a day. Roughly a compactor wagon picking up from your apartment is around about 10 tonnes of waste. So effectively, we're going to be around about 800 vehicles a day, 800 vehicles a day coming into the plant, unloading their waste and leaving. So a lorry about every minute and a half.
Extraordinary logistics that must go into an operation on this scale.
It is. It's very organised. I mean, Dubai Municipality has to organise all of the logistics of the waste. Obviously, at the moment, they're going out to landfill, but they've got to be rerouted into our plant now. We've got to make sure the waste is coming from the right places because we have to look at the calorific value of the waste now rather than just burning anything. So there is a lot more organisation required from Dubai Municipality to get the right waste in the right quantities to us every day.
And that was going to be my next question to you about the waste. I mean, when I throw away or put into the green bin at home all the packaging that comes in from various e-commerce things that are being bought at the house, etc., am I guaranteed that that is going to go to your facility? Is that my responsibility or is that someone else's responsibility?
Now, at the moment, we take what's politely called black bag waste. So whatever you throw away down your waste chute comes directly to the DWMC plant. As I say, around 45%, but obviously that's Dubai Municipality's choice which collection areas they send to us, which collection areas remain going to landfill. So you don't really have that choice at the moment, but I think what's important for everybody to realise is that, whatever waste you're throwing down your chute now, we're doing something practical with it rather than putting it to landfill. Two important things with that. One is that we're recycling the metals. The ash that remains will go into a construction, and obviously the power is the main output that we have. So we'll be producing around about 2% of Dubai's electricity from this process. Sort of one of the things that I say to people to put it in perspective is you can throw your rubbish bag down the chute, and then the following evening you can charge your phone with the electricity. I mean that's how quickly it's going to be processed. So there's no deterioration of the waste; it doesn't rot. So the main thing benefit is the greenhouse gas emissions from the waste sites are dramatically cut. Because we're producing 200 megawatts of electricity, that's not produced with gas in Dubai. So there's a saving on the fossil fuel side. So the net result of that is over the 35 years of the project, there's a 65 million tonne CO2 saving for Dubai through operating this plant. You
mentioned earlier on about the zero to landfill sort of ambitions here in the region at the moment. Is that part of the sort of net zero ambitions as well? Is that all guiding towards the same direction?
Yes, I suppose so. Obviously, Dubai Municipality under His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's Sustainable Dubai initiative have created their own programmes, one of which is this zero waste to landfill by 2030. So they're very much targeted just on eliminating the landfill. Obviously, the recycling is another part of that. So I think other entities now are coming into Dubai to suggest things that they can do with the waste. So kick off the recycling element. So, but Dubai Municipality is very much focused just on the zero to landfill as part of their policy for the next 10 years.
We've spoken a lot about the waste that you are going to be burning, they're going to be generating as well. What about the conversion to energy? What sort of form does that energy come in, and how much energy can you produce?
Okay, so the waste comes in, and it's obviously a mix of waste. So in the bunker that we have, we collect the waste. We mix it to a certain extent to try and mix wetter waste with drier waste, so try and equalise the fuel, as we like to call it, rather than waste, for the boilers. And then effectively it's loaded into the boilers. Each of the boilers consumes around 45 tonnes of waste an hour. So we're loading it directly into the boilers, and it goes onto a sloped grate. So a little bit like an open fire used to be, but in the past, and air is passed underneath. The waste self-combusts because the heat of the combustion ignites the incoming waste, so there's no auxiliary fuel. So it's not really right to say it's an incinerator. It's the waste itself that is generating the heat. And all of the heat that comes out of that waste is then produced into the hot gases in the furnace, which is surrounded with water tubes. That boils the water, turns it into superheated steam. And then we use that superheated steam to drive a steam turbine, generate the electricity with a generator.
So this is fundamentally sustainable energy and a sustainable energy supply.
It is, yeah. It all depends on your view of waste, but obviously within Dubai, waste has been categorised as a sustainable fuel because the view is that it's always going to be here, and it's an issue that we have to deal with, so it counts as sustainable. So I think that's the key driver for Dubai, sustainability.
When do you go live, Tim? Are you live at the moment? When do you go live? When are you up at full operation and capacity?
The plant's been built in two blocks. So the first block is the two boilers, the first two boilers, and all of the auxiliary equipment, steam turbine. So we've completed that. We've done all the commissioning tests, and it completed last Tuesday, 22nd. We finished all the testing. It's just done its 5-day reliability run. So effectively, as of yesterday, it's an operational plant, and we'll be taking, say, two boilers, so around about 2,200 tonnes of waste every day now will be built from now forward. Operational
yesterday, and the CEO's with us here today. That's how much he's happy to talk all things climate. Absolutely amazing to have you here. I'm sure it's busy time. COP28 just around the corner, obviously going to be a big focus for you and the company as well. I mean, just to round this one up, congratulations to you and the team for all the hard work. Not your first rodeo. You've been in this sphere and in this business for quite some time. This is now being billed as the world's largest energy from waste facility. How proud are you and your team of the facility you have and you've built?
I think it's a fantastic achievement. I think everybody in the team has contributed to it in small ways, whether it's the commercial people managing the EPC contractor who's actually built the whole facility, the designers. What we've created is something that's quite exceptional, I think, for Dubai, the scale of it more than anything else. It's more than twice the size of the next size plant. So it is very, very much bigger. It also operates at a higher steam temperature and pressure than any other waste facility, so it means the efficiency of the conversion. So we get more electricity out for every tonne of waste than you would otherwise have got from a more conventional designed energy from waste plant. So it is a tremendous achievement. It's huge for Dubai because it's the first major plant that's been internationally financed under the international financing regulations for Dubai for the last 10 years or so. And I think that's created a huge momentum in Dubai municipality, in our sponsors like Dubai Holdings, ourselves as the company that's building it, and the whole team of close to 4,500 people who've actually been building this plant. We're extremely proud of the fact that we've created something fairly unique. It's a fantastic facility for the next 35 years, and it's going to make Dubai a sustainable city for the whole of that next third of a century, which I think is a tremendous achievement. And everybody, myself and every member of my team, I think is proud to have been on this. And I'll just point as well, we've had a very, very strong focus on time delivery, on cost delivery, and the safety on the site. And we're really pleased to have concluded almost 19 million man hours working on site. And we've had very, very minor safety issues. So, I mean, it's fantastic for all of the guys working on site who normally in a construction industry, you'd expect a level of injury. We've avoided all of that. So it's been built to the highest standards as well.
Congratulations to you, Tim. Tim's the CEO of course, the brand new Dubai Waste Management Company, who are very much setting those climate conversations into motion at the moment. Tim, can't thank you enough, especially a busy week like this for you as well. Thanks so much indeed for joining us live in studio. No doubt we will be speaking more in the build-up to COP28, but for now, thanks so much indeed.
Thank you, Tom.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.